I took the liberty of loading some imagery so I could show you what blend modes are like. Right now we have a background that's white. I loaded the brain, if you recall the brain from other lessons. If you didn't do the other lessons, that's fine. I'm just going to drag this into here. And it says doesn't match, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Don't show again. It's enormous. So I'm going to free transform it. Command T. Now, because I can't see my bounding box, I'm going to go up here. It defaults apparently to locking the aspect ratio. So I'm just going to tell it to go to 40%. So it's 40%, 34%. Now I can grab a corner and I can resize it with a little more control. So I'm just going to make it small and put it under Photoshop CC and then hit the enter key on the keyboard. So I've got my, but we can't see the button because the button's white, right? One thing I can do is hold down the Option Alt key and drag the drop shadow on there, and now we can see the button. Let's say I decide I want a color overlay on it. I'll hold the Option key again. I don't like that, so I'm going to undo that. The one thing to know is when you're on a type layer, you'll see that T. If you don't see that T, that means the type, you can use layer styles, but you can't edit the type. Like I can still edit the type here. I can make this Photoshop, I'm going to change the size, Photoshop, let's see, 40. I'm going to put 2000. I'm going to get the T. I do need the type from over here to do this. And I'm going to put 2018 and 19. Most of you probably have one of these two. You may have an earlier version. That's okay. There are just some things that you won't have access to, like that type, the lorem ipsum that automatically comes up when you have a type tool. So now we have these three objects. Again, I can hold the command key and grab this guy. See how it moves through the layers. And I want a different background. So I got the purple sky here. And I'm going to drag this into here, my layer styles. I need to put it down at the bottom above the white background. Now, I want to play around with blend modes. Now, it always blends with the layer below it. So right now it's going to blend with white. I'm going to unlock this because I might want to fill this with a different color. I'm going to grab the type and move it up here a little bit. And I'm going to just show you, here is a blend mode on a layer. Now, the thing to know about blend modes is they work with all kinds of different tools. Brushes have blend modes. There are blend modes in layer styles, but we're just going to work layer to layer now. So this is normal. If I go multiply, nothing changes because it's not over anything dark. But if I change it to screen, oops, screen, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on here, on this layer somehow. If I change it to screen here, nothing, I mean, it completely turns white. So I'm going to change it back to overlay and see if anything happens. Nothing happens. So I need to change this white to a color. Let's change it to this green. Why not? I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, Option Delete, and then I'm going to go turn on the eyeball, make sure I'm on this layer. Notice I'm in overlay. Look at what it looks like now. I'm in soft light. I'm in screen. I'm in multiply. Now multiply is pretty intense. That really did change it a lot. I would probably change the color of the square, or maybe I'm going to use the square. Let's say I will use the square to hold the type. So I can open it up like that. Oops. I let go too soon. Undo. I'm going to open it up, and I'm holding down the shift and the option key because I don't want it to maintain the aspect ratio. So I'm going to, now what do I let go of first? This? Yes, I let go of that first and then the keys. Okay, great. So the type needs to be above this or you'll never see it. And if I move this here, now the type's in a box. I've got my little brain here, and I've changed the look of the purple because I have multiply on it. And if I turn off the green, I have a different color. Let me make the green a different color. I'm going to get the color chip, make it a dark blue, and then option delete. Wow, that's really dark. Instead of multiply, let's see what overlay looks like. Well, lighter color. Ooh, that's very weird. Color dodge, screen. Some of these are not things you would necessarily use, like a scientist might use them or something. Hard mix, pin light. I'll tell you, I probably use overlay, screen, and multiply more than most. Let's go to color burn. Don't love this. This is just too dark. So I'm going to leave it in multiply and change the blue down here to a lighter blue. Here, over here, when you move in this direction, you get more of a tint. And that's much better. That's just much better. Oh, it's in normal. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm on there. Yeah, that's in multiply. Let's go to lighten. That's what lighten would look like. Let's see what soft overlay. Overlay is not bad. So you can see the different things that happened in the blend mode. I am going to give this also an emboss, the brain, an emboss. Oop, I didn't hold the right key, so I moved it rather than copied it. So here's emboss. There we go. So now the brain's embossed. And maybe I want to add an airplane to it. Here's a plane. I'm going to zoom in. And I believe I could select the color with the magic wand. I'm in 15. Let's see if it doesn't select the blue in the plane. Unlock it, click. That's not bad, but you know, I think it needs to be more of a tolerance. The default is 32, and this is add 2, so it should be not too bad. Got a little bit down there. I'm going to double click the zoom tool to bring it to 100%. And again, I'm going to go back to the magic wand. Remember, I'm in add 2 up here, so I don't have to hold the shift key. So I'm just going to add 2. And I'm going to invert so I can copy the plane. Select. Let's see. Inverse. I'm going to Command C, then I'm going to go over to my image area and Command V. There's the plane. It looks a little ragged, so I'd have to clean up the edges there. And this is a good point for me to introduce you to layer mask, and we're going to do some more of that. A layer mask, see this little icon down here with the hole in it? When it's white, it reveals everything. I'm going to zoom into this part of the plane, and it looks like some of this right here is not necessary. So I'm going to get a hard edge brush, because I always like to start with hard edge. And if I paint with a little black on the layer mask, I'm hiding the part that looks like it doesn't belong. So that's what the layer mask did. It just got rid of that part of the plane that didn't get selected in the blue. So now the plane looks a little bit better. This is what the layer mask looks like. Next lesson, we're going to get much more into layer masks. So I'm going to double click the hand. That makes it big. Double click that, the magnifying tool, and then I'm just going to use the Command plus to make it just a little bigger. Well, it sure could use some shadow. I don't know about the overlay or the bevel, but I'm going to hold the Option key on my Mac. It doesn't matter where I grab the shadow from, they're all the same, and I'm going to put it on the plane. I'm going to move the plane into the sky, and I'm going to make it smaller. So there's a plane flying over the bridge. And then I believe you can just click off and it'll go away, which is a new feature with Transform. And now we're starting to build a collage with graphics and photos, which is what Photoshop does best. Okay, we're going to move on to other features, and layer masks would be a good next step.